Welcome to today's video and Merry Christmas. So it's the end of the year. I've got a few videos scheduled to go out during this period of time. But today I want to ask, what's wrong with Santa Claus? We're going to take a brief look at Santa Claus and the controversy surrounding should Christians be promoting Santa Claus to their children? So, warning ahead of time. If you have small children in the house while you're watching this video, please use your headphones or wait till they go to bed. Not that I'm going to be saying anything vulgar or anything like that. Just, you know, if you currently um, teach your children about Santa Claus, I don't want to be the YouTube guy that says anything that causes you problems as a parent. So, who is Santa Claus? Well, Santa Claus in the beginning was based on a real guy. He was not always the chubby guy in a red suit flying around with reindeer, having elves working in his workshop. He was he's based on a 4th century uh, bishop named Saint Nicholas. And there is even one legend, but my research, I can't find definitive um, substantiation of it, but there's even one account, or there it's going around out there, that Saint Nicholas during the Council of Nicaea, when they were deciding what books should be in the Bible and things like that, actually punched another guy over an argument. But Saint Nicholas was also known for his great gift giving and especially giving gifts to children. And what happened over the centuries, the story of Saint Nicholas spread all across Europe and got tweaked, things got added, things got taken away. But it wasn't until the 1800s that Santa Claus really, as we know him today, really started to come into focus. And it was in 1822 when the poet Clement Clark Moore wrote A Visit from St. Nicholas, or we know it today as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. This poem gave us the sleigh riding, chimney hopping, carrying a sack full of toys uh, image of Santa Claus we have today. Then in the 1930s, the Coca Cola Company started a marketing campaign, and they're the ones who put the face to Santa Claus. The guy with the rosy cheeks and the rosy nose with the white beard, the white curly hat, wearing the red suit with the red hat, all that came from a marketing campaign of Coca-Cola. But Coca-Cola uh, was able to basically give global awareness to St. Nicholas, even in countries where they don't have a Christian background. If you go to those countries, most likely they have heard of Santa Claus. And with all the various marketing campaigns, with the commercialization, as Charlie Brown said in the 1960s of Christmas, Santa Claus has gone global. So, how then can Santa, I mean, he's a positive guy. Think of anything bad that you've ever heard of Santa Claus. How can he be so controversial? Well, for us as Christians, Christmas is the time of year when we Christians commemorate the birth of Christ. Now, let me just throw this caveat out there. And there are tons of people who debate each other over this. Uh, I am one of those. I do not believe that Christ was actually born on December 25th. My personal opinion is that the Bible doesn't tell us when Christ was born actually on purpose, because Christ has always existed. He was God, He was the God man. He's eternal, so He has no beginning and no end. So I think there's a reason and there may be a deeper reason to why we don't know the exact date of his birth. Um, but if you disagree with that and you believe he was born on December 25th, that's fine. But what I believe is December 25th was picked because it was uh, the winter solstice. And in the early church, basically in the days of Constantine, Christianity went from being a persecuted religious sect to overnight the state religion. And so, and then automatically all these pagan priests, they were going to be without a job. So they took jobs in the Christian church. That's where I believe a lot of the things, especially that the Catholic Church teaches, came into being because of the influence of former pagan priests adapting their belief systems to fit with the Christian mold. And but the one benefit, whether you agree or disagree with what day he was born, December is an amazing time because even among people who aren't Christians, it gives us an opportunity to talk about Christ. But the problem with Santa Claus is, have you ever noticed Santa Claus is bestowing divine attributes of Christ on just an ordinary man or a magical man, shifting the world's focus from Christ to Santa? The whole world knows about Santa, and Santa is fine. Santa is non offensive, but Christ is offensive. Let me give you a couple examples. For example, you better you better watch out. You better not cry. Santa Claus is coming to town. You know that old song. He knows you when you're sleeping. He knows you when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. And I do not sing, so forgive me. What is that? That's omniscience. That's knowing everything. Who's omniscient? God is omniscient. Christ, as the second person of the Godhead, is omniscient. So he knows if you've been bad or good, and it's telling us that Santa keeps a close eye on children throughout the year, seeing their every action and judging their behavior. This implies a level of omnipresence and omniscience similar to that of Christ. In our more logical age, we've given Santa helpers like the dreaded or celebrated elf on the shelf. You know, the elf moves throughout the night and he goes back every night and reports to Santa whether you've been good or bad. We also see the omnipresence of Santa. Again, the fact that he can see every child and know if they've been bad or good, that's omniscience and omnipresence. But then he delivers presents to billions of people. How could one jolly individual manage to deliver presents to all the good children of the world in a single night? It not only requires incredible speed and logistics, but knowledge of every child's location and desires. In our more logical age, we've answered this with, uh, oh, well, Santa takes advantage of the time zones. You know, December, on the night of December 24th, uh, he starts in the east and heads to the west, but still, that might explain some things. But if you were to work out the math of, and I have not done that for you, you can do that as a side project if you'd like to, but just look at how many children there are and then figure, Santa takes 5 seconds to drop off because, he's got to eat those cookies and drink that milk. Maybe he takes them on to go. Um, but they answer it with time zones. And then, of course, he's magical. So this creates, in my opinion, a problem for Christian parents. As Christians, we're not supposed to lie or bear false witness. Not only is this one of the Big Ten, the Ten Commandments, but Proverbs 26, verse 28 says, "A lying tongue hates its victims, and a flattering mouth works ruin." Lying is bad. We should not lie. How much worse then is it to lie to a child? I remember as a child, I believed in Santa. And for me personally, and my parents did the whole Santa Claus thing, but some kids told me at school that Santa was made up, that Santa wasn't real, that Santa was really just your parents, those presents under the tree. And I went home. I was upset by what the kids told me because I had defended my position. No, Santa's real. My mom and dad told me Santa was real. I defended my position. And then my parents told me, no, those kids are right, but don't tell your younger brother and sister because, we want to keep this thing going. And I remember, even though I didn't have the emotional intelligence to say to myself this way, but thinking back, doing this script here, uh, what I was feeling, because I felt kind of down, I felt let down, and I realized what I was feeling as a child, we would call as adults, I was feeling the feelings of depression and betrayal. Now, my parents weren't intending this. They were caught up in the fun. Santa Claus is fun. It's the season for believing, all that good stuff. They were just going along with the Christmas fun. Uh, but I was also raised in a Christian home. So the same parents that told me about a magical being that I could not see uh, was watching me all the time, would give me toys if I was good, also told me that there was a God and that he was watching me. And later, you know, I learned there was this man named Jesus that died for my sins. And I need to accept him as my Lord and Savior to go to heaven. Now, for me personally, I've never really wavered in believing in God. But I can imagine a kid who grows up, you teach them about Santa Claus, maybe you teach them about Jesus, maybe you teach them about God. Could it be that's why the last few generations have just been so jaded and negative on God? Because in the back of their mind, maybe they don't even realize they're doing this. But if my parents lied to me about Santa, then why should I believe them about God and Jesus? If Santa wasn't real, I couldn't see Santa. So that's the first problem. Now, it's not my place to tell you how to raise your children. Galatians chapter 5, verse 13 tells us, "For you were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." The Christian life is not, despite what the world thinks it is, It's not a list of do's and don'ts. It is a true life of liberty. Now, me and my wife, we've never had kids, but early in our marriage, I remember we had a discussion about this, and I told her, I said, If the day comes and we have children, I don't want to do the Santa thing with them." And initially, she was like, well, I did the Santa thing. It's harmless fun, you know. But um, to me, I see Santa as a way to sow seeds of doubt in early childhood and teach children that at the end of the day, they live in a cold and heartless world, and they will be betrayed by the people they think they can trust the most, their parents. So I really think that's why kids today grow into such bitter, angry, cynical adults. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching me during the holiday period. And remember Matthew 6:33, but seek first his kingdom, the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Until next time, have a great day.